Hello everyone, my name is Miss Sarah from FIBO Art Academy. Today we're going to be doing a Father's Day project using watercolor and colored pencils. Let's begin. So when you're finished, your painting may look something like this. It's a watercolor and colored pencil drawing with Sharpie. To begin, you're going to use a piece of thick paper. I'm using watercolor paper, but you could use Bristol or illustration paper, whatever you have on hand. We're going to start by doing a practice drawing. Now for our practice drawing, I'm going to be using a Sharpie to draw, but I want you to use a pencil. I'm using a Sharpie so the lines will show up on the video. So to start, we're going to make some simple shapes for our father's body. I'm going to start with a circle where the head is. I'm going to make a line coming down and then going back in like that. After that, I'm going to draw 2 lines down for the neck. And then I'm going to draw the body. The body is going to curve out like this at the shoulders and then go back in and then go back out like that. Kind of like a very long letter S. On the other side, you're going to draw a curved line going down all the way to the bottom of the page. Now this video is a recording, so feel free to pause if you feel that I'm going too fast. I want you to work at your own pace. After that, we're going to put the top of the arm. So here, the shoulder, going to draw a curved line like that. And then underneath, a line going parallel, like that. There you go. I'm going to draw a line that curves up and then starts to go in a little bit. It's a very soft slant. Then on the other side, here's the elbow. It's going to be smoother, a smooth corner, and then up. And right here, we're going to have the hand. I'm going to draw an oval like this, part of an oval. Then on the other side, we have our thumb. It's going to have a curve out until we touch the wrist. So it looks kind of like mittens. We're going to add some fingers. We're just going to add lines like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay. After that, we're going to put some hair on our dad. We're going to start with the ear. The ear is about halfway. So here's like the halfway point. The halfway point of the head. I'm going to curve it up for the hair. I'm going to have a shaggy hairstyle today, but you could change the hairstyle to whatever you want. You can make it look like your dad. My own dad is bald, so that would make drawing hair very easy for me, but I'm going to have shaggy hair today. Okay, we got to put some features on our father. So we already have this halfway point. Underneath, we're going to cut this in half as well. So about here, that's where we're going to put the nose. So the forehead is curving out like this, like our circle, but then it's going to go right here at the halfway point, and it's going to slant out for the nose like that. See that nose? Down here, we're going to put our smile. It's going to go into the face and then out like that. Now this drawing is going to be a little bit abstract, so I'm not going to put any eyes, just the nose, mouth, very basic features. After that, I'm going to have a curved line for the sleeve, a line for the neck of the t-shirt, Then down here, curved line for the hem of the shirt. When you draw this line, make sure it's curved. That way it gives our figure some dimension. So it's not flat straight across. Okay. After this, we're going to draw our kid up here. I'm going to start by, I'm going to draw through the shape. That means I'm just going to go over where the hand is. There you go. If you draw through shapes like that, it keeps everything lined up correctly. After that, I'm going to draw curved line here, curved line down. For shorts, you draw legs. So this is the top of the leg and then the knee. We have the back of the leg. It's going to go up this. And there's a very slight curve just coming out, just very small until we reach the ankle. And then here, this is just a straight line going straight up. Okay, so that's one leg. Let me give it the shoe. You could change the shoe, you could change the clothes. Just gonna have kind of basic shoes. There you go. You can even add some detail like that. Maybe shoelaces. Behind this leg, I'm gonna draw the other leg. So just like this was a straight line, this is gonna be a straight line going up till you get to where the ankle is. And then you draw the same wedge shape for the shoe. If you add any details to the first shoe, add those details to the second shoe. Okay, so after that, I'm gonna draw the arm. The arm is gonna be pointing at you, so it's gonna be foreshortened. To do this, I'm gonna draw a curved shape like this, kind of like a circle, and then another curved shape like this. There we go. The arm is going to start here and then go up, and it's gonna taper off until it gets thinner up here. And do that on the other side like that. There. Now to make this foreshortened, you're going to draw the hand. It's going to overlap. So this is the bottom of the palm. It's going to go into where the arm is. So those lines like that show that the hand is in front of the arm. So just like the dad, we're going to have this mitten shape. For the thumb, it's going to curve in to touch the hand like this. But then we're going to add the pad of the thumb. So it's going to have another curve like that. We're going to add fingers. So 1, 2, 3. Make sure you only put 3 lines. You don't want your kid to have extra fingers. After that, we're going to draw the head. We're going to start with a circle. And then a line down and then in like that. And add 2 lines for the neck. You can draw a line for the neckline of the shirt. Divide this in half, then divide this part in half. You're going to put your ear about halfway right here. And then just like with the dad, you're going to start here at the first line. You're going to slant it out and come back in. There's the nose. You're going to have a smile coming in. Then you're going to draw the hair. I'm going to give the kid the same hairstyle as the dad, but again, you could change the hair, make it your own hair, maybe a hat, maybe a space helmet. You can do anything you want. It is your drawing. But for me, I'm going to have the same hair. There we go. I added some spiky lines. Okay. So now it's time for the final drawing, which means you're going to trace your pencil lines with a Sharpie. I use a fine tip Sharpie. For this project, it's important that you have a waterproof pen because you're going to use watercolors and you don't want the watercolors to make your marker bleed all over your paper. So you're going to trace your pencil lines, but there are some lines that you're not going to trace, and I'm going to scribble them out. So you don't need this line here. You don't need this line here. And then here in the head, you don't need the circle that's inside of the hair. In fact, you don't need any of this circle. Go ahead and erase that. You don't need this horizontal line. Don't need this horizontal line. The nose. And then there's a little bit of a line between the eyebrow and the nose. Erase that as well. Now for the kid, erase the circle. Erase this line, these two lines. The little bit of line in between the eyebrow and the nose. This here, this line on the nose. And then on the mouth, where the smile is, go ahead and erase that line. Okay. So that is going to be all the lines that you're erasing, and then everything else is going to be traced with Sharpie. Okay. So here is my final drawing, and we're going to get started with our final color. The first thing we need to do is a watercolor wash. I'm going to start by wetting my entire paper with just the pure water. I'm going to use these big back and forth strokes like this. You really want to soak your brush and put all that water down. This is called wet into wet. I'm using it so I can make some really fluffy, wispy clouds, the kind you would see on a nice summer day. You want your paper to be all painted with just the pure water. And if you look at it in the light, you can see that it's kind of shiny. That means it's good to go. I'm going to go in with my paint using watercolor. And I'm going to use the same side to side horizontal strokes. I'm going to paint a little bit on our figures. I'm just doing a light wash. So it's going to be a very loose watercolor painting. I'm going to skip down here. Then on the other side, make it a little bit darker up here. Then I'm going to put some more blue at the bottom down here. Now you don't have to have a blue sky. You could make it into a sunset and use yellow and orange. You could use purple if you want. It's up to you. Okay, there we go. After you're done painting the sky, you're gonna start painting the figures. I'm gonna go in with red. I'm gonna paint the dad's shirt red. This is a very loose watercolor painting because I'm gonna go back in and add detail and shading with my colored pencils. go. When you get a layer of your color, you can go back in with more paint. That. And kind of let that paint travel a little bit. Especially if your first layer of paint was still wet. Makes a really beautiful effect. I'm going to jump over to the kid. I'm going to add some red paint to the shirt. And you can use any colors that you want. It's up to you. Paint your outfit that you're wearing right now. Paint your favorite outfit. Paint your dream outfit. Okay. I'm going to go in with more blue. I'm going to paint the pants the dad is wearing. And I'm going to do the same thing with the shorts the kid has on. Now, if your watercolor starts to bleed into places that you don't want, you can just take a paper towel and blot it up. Just push it straight down and it absorbs the paint. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. I like using big brushes, but if you're more comfortable using smaller brushes for detail, that is absolutely okay. Do what works for you. Add some more blue to the shorts. Then I'm going to go in with brown for the hair. I like using square brushes because you can twist them around the corners. And I think it's a pretty neat way of painting. So you can just stick that angle right into a corner and twist your brush. Need some more brown paint. There we go. There. Gonna give the kids some orange shoes. All right. So we have another thing to do, and that is skin color. So we're gonna mix some skin color. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna put some water in the pan. I'm gonna go in with red. Here's my brush. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of orange. Rinse the brush again, and a little bit of brown. And if you want a darker skin tone, you can add more brown. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow as well. Okay. And it looks pretty dark, but when it goes on the paper, it's going to lighten up. And then you add layers until you are satisfied with the color. So let's go start here on the arm. See, it looks much lighter on the paper as it does the pan. But you just add layers And then you add colored pencil later on to make it darker. On the face, you can get it a little bit in the hair, that's okay. It's a loose watercolor. Then face again. Arms. The legs. Then I'm going to go in with another layer. Just kind of dab it around. Now for my light source, it's going to be over here. So I'm trying to put the paint where the shadows would be. So I have more paint here on the back of the neck. I have more paint here under the arms. Then on the left side of the arm. I'm going to add some more paint on the fingers. And then on the nose here. And on the back of the leg, because it's further away, that means it's receding into the shadows. Okay. So that's it for our watercoloring. Up next is going to be using colored pencils to add shading and details. We want to let our paper dry fully. Once your watercolor has dried, you're going to go in with colored pencil. So I'm going to start with red. I'm just going to add texture to the shirt on our dad, like this. So I'm just going back and forth. When you use colored pencil with watercolor, it's important to keep your colored pencils nice and sharp. So just adding colored pencil everywhere. Then I'm going to switch to a darker color. Let's see. I'm going to use this purpley color. I'm going to start shading on the left side where the shadow would be. And you just want to layer your colors and work up to that darkness. I'm going to put some under here, some shadow under here. And when you make shadows like this, you can even go in with a color that's almost completely different. So this is like a blue violet. I'm going to use that for my shadow as well. And it gives it a really nice, vibrant look. You can go on the other side with a light warm color. So I'm using this golden yellow to add some yellow and warmth on this side because this is where the light is coming from. So it's going to be a warmer color. I'm going to take a blue. You do the same thing down here to the shorts. Add a light texture. And then go back and add a darker color for shadow. I'm going to do the same thing with the hair. I painted it brown, but I'm going to add some black. I can add a layer of black all over, and then add my shadow. And if you have brown hair, you could use a darker shade of brown or even a red. If you have blonde hair, you can use a darker orange and maybe even a very, very small hint of purple. So I'm almost done adding my texture. I'm gonna go back and add another layer for shadow. And do kind of round. There you go. And you could shade the left side of the hair too, like that. And then behind the ears cast shadows as well. After that, I'm going to do the same coloring on the kid. I'm just going to go ahead and go straight in with the dark color because down here it would be pretty shadowy because it is facing away from the light. The light source is coming up from here, and this is underneath our kid, so it's going to be darker. Go. I'm going to go back in with the purple. Add some more shadow. Yeah, it's getting pretty dark. I'm going to do the shorts same way. I'm going to add texture first. And then shadow down here. Okay. I'm going to give the kid the same dark hair. For the kid, the shadows are going to be on the opposite side of the hair than the dad. So it's going to have shadow down here, and then here. I'm going to leave this part brown because this part is right where the sun would hit. Okay. After that, we have our skin color. So I'm going to take this brown and I'm going to color the back of the neck because that's where our shadows are. I'm going to bring that color out. I'm going to shade under here, kind of where the jaw is. That's right underneath the ear. And then after that, I'm going to take my brown and I'm going to add some color on the cheeks and then the nose. Like that. I do the same thing down by the chin. Now, if you want to give your dad a beard, you can do that. That's really cool. I'd use colored pencil. I wouldn't really use Sharpie for that. I think Sharpie would be too dark, but colored pencil would be a really good way to add a beard. I'm going to do the same shadows on the kid, except the shadow is going to be on the opposite side, so down here. And then on the forehead, because here is where our shadows would be. The nose, and the cheeks. I'm going to go ahead and finish shading in the forehead, the chin. Then you could add some shading in the ear. where the ear goes in. After that, I'm going to color the fingers in with my light brown. And then up here on the kid. And then I'm going to take my brown and add shadow underneath the arm. And then on this side of the arm. There we go. And then I'm going to shade this back leg in completely because it's far away in the shadows, like that. And add some color to the shoe. Yeah. And then after that, I'm going to switch to red. There we go. And I'm going to color a little bit on the elbow and the knee, the other knee, and then a little bit on the hand where the knuckles are right here. Some red. Like that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of red on the cheeks as well. And there you have it. Our Father's Day painting. You have this big area right here. If you want to leave a nice message for your dad or anything else you want to add, it's your painting. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Make sure you check out Phoebo Village for other classes and lessons, and I hope to see you again. Happy Father's Day and happy painting.